So it's indeed fascinating and really heartening to see that within every religion there are strong advocates for mutual respect and tolerance. Mystics, poets, scholars, and religious leaders who stress the ways in which the sacred texts support tolerance and who emphasize the commonalities of the religions rather than their differences.
And according to the rabbis, when he was a child, Abraham lived in the house with a father who made his living as a maker and seller of idols. And so one day, the Midrash tells us, Abraham took a hatchet in his hand, and he went to the store where his father sold idols. And he took the hatchet and he broke all of the idols which were sold in his father's shop. And after he finished destroying all of his father's merchandise, he took the axe and he put it in the hand of the biggest idol which he had left intact. And then he crept out of the store. A few moments later, his father, having heard this tremendous crash from the room where all of his merchandise was stored, came rushing into the idol room, horrified to see all of these idols destroyed, all of this potential income wasted. And he grabs Abraham by the scruff of his neck, and he says, "Abraham, what happened to my idols? What happened to the store? What's going on here?" And Abraham said, "Well, Dad, I cannot tell a lie. I put out some delicious food in front of them all, and I brought the food for the idols to eat. And as soon as they got there, all of the idols reached out their hands to partake of the delicious meal. And this idol here, the biggest one of them all, enraged at how the others had been acting selfishly and greedily, took an axe in his hand and broke them all. And as you can see, the hatchet is still in his hands." Abraham's father turns to him furious and says, "My son, do you think I believe such nonsense? They're made of stone and wood. How can they take up arms against each other? How can they fight? How can they eat?" And Abraham, the child, sits back and says, "Father, let your ears hear what your mouth is saying. They are idols and they have no power."
Why is it that I said that Christians shouldn't allow persecution because of the teachings of Christ? Christ himself taught that if someone hits you on one cheek, turn to him the other as well. And it's most fittingly applicable in the situation in which someone is advancing their religion, standing up for their religion, witnessing for their religion. I don't think it applies so closely to someone defending their family. And Christ was an example of that. When at his own trial, he was slapped in the face. You know, we believe, those who believe that he was what he said, what the Bible, the New Testament says he is. He could have defended himself. I would imagine if he would have hit him, the average Christian would believe that he could have done some damage. And he himself is recorded as saying that he could call legions of angels, but he turned the other cheek. When a crazy man ran after him, ran up to him, a man that had been chained and all, I would imagine if you were in that scene, that would look like a great encounter, like a WWF kind of experience, getting ready to WWE, whatever they call it. And instead of getting in the kung fu stance, he basically prayed for that man and helped that man come out of his disease. He was an example of turning the other cheek.
Rabbi Shahli Sadri wa yassir li amri, and make my task easy. Wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani, and untie the knot of my tongue so that I'm eloquent, so that I should be able to speak better. Yafqahu qawli, so that the people understand what I am saying. This is a prayer recorded in the Holy Quran. And guess what? Who offered this prayer first time? Prophet Moses. It is mentioned that when God commanded Prophet Moses, peace be on him, to go to Pharaoh, God taught him this prayer and he offered this prayer, and he was full of confidence when he spoke to Pharaoh, the tyrant of that day.